Welcome. I call to order the Town Council regular session. The time is 7:30 and the date is Monday, September 8th. If we could please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we please have the roll call, Dale?
Council President Whaley.
Here.
Council Vice President McAtee.
Here.
Councilwoman Healy.
Here.
Councilman O'Neill.
Here.
4 members present. Councilman Donnelly is absent.
Thank you, Dale. We also have the approval of the minutes of previous meetings. We have the work session of August 12th, 2014.
I move approval of those minutes. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 400. We also have the regular session of August 12th, 2014.
I move approval of those minutes. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 400. Would any council person like anything removed from the consent agenda?
Hearing none, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 400. Next item on the agenda, page 2, is licenses. We have a resolution granting a miscellaneous permit to conduct the Chalk It Up Against Bullying event on sidewalks and parking lots in downtown Wakefield on Saturday, October 18th, with a rain date October 19th, October 25th, or October 26th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., to the Washington County Coalition for Children, subject to the execution of a hold harmless agreement indemnifying the town and issuance of a certificate of insurance naming the town as an additional insured for the event in the amount specified by the risk manager application by Susan A. Orban, coordinator, and Washington County Coalition for Children, care of VNS Home Health Services, 14 Woodworth Avenue, Narragansett, Rhode Island. Welcome. Glad to see you.
Thank you.
And we also welcome Bretta Coombs and Justin Gallant. So if you could tell us a little bit about the endeavor. This sounds exciting.
Well, it's a very exciting event. It is one that engages people of all ages to create chalk art drawings with bullying prevention themes on the sidewalks in downtown Wakefield. It's an event that we carried out last year very successfully in partnership with the Wakefield Village Association, and we had a number of businesses that were our sponsors. This event is one that we do to help bring the message of bullying prevention beyond the school walls. We, the coalition, has been partnering with South Kingstown School Department for the last 4 years on implementing evidence-based bullying prevention programs within the schools, and this takes the message out into the community and gives a great opportunity for people to see these messages, not only on the day of the event, but until the next rainfall, and those walking by during the event have the opportunity to talk about it with the kids and with those of us that are there. And so I'd like Bretta to talk about the importance of that and the partnership with the schools, if you can, for a minute. Sure.
Good evening, I'm Bretta Combs, and I'm the Response to Intervention Coordinator for South Kingstown. Like Susan said, we've been doing the OVS anti-bullying intervention for several years now. Last year, when they did the first Chalk It Up events, it really started to open some windows and doors to partner with our community members. Most recently, we've actually had additional interest from some of our local camp programs as well for some of their faculty and staff to learn a little bit more about the OVS anti-bullying intervention. So beyond the work that this will do here with our local business merchants, but it'll also help open additional doors with some of the other community partners, such as the Guild, the YMCA, and some of our other local community members.
Great. And we wouldn't be able to do this event without great business partnerships, and that happened largely because of this guy here, Justin Gallant, and his wife, Eva, who really spearheaded this effort last year and are helping us again this year. Justin.
Just like Susan mentioned, bullying doesn't stop at
at 3 o'clock when the school bell rings, it's going on. So we thought it was pretty important what Susan was talking about last year, that, to get the merchants aware of what's going on. They can see kids out there. But the other thing is, the bullying isn't just between kindergarten and 12th grade. I mean, bullying, as we all know, goes on outside. There's political bullying, there's bullying in business, there's all sorts of stuff. So, getting this message out there for the whole community to see is something the merchants thought was very important. We have a number of people. I don't know, Madam President, Your Honor, if we want us to submit evidence of merchants who are in favor of this, I can give you a sheet here. And then we had a sheet as well of those who weren't interested to sign up, and no one ever signed that. So I don't know if it's something you guys want to...
If you wanted to give that to our town clerk, that would be great, Justin.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, and I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on the award that you received, from Washington County Coalition for Children.
Oh, thank you.
For Chalk It Up for
Thank
Bullying.
you. And congrats to you as well.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
So I have some background information on bullying prevention efforts and myths and the statistics related to middle school bullying that you might find interesting, and you can see where South Kingstown lies in comparison to our other neighboring communities. Unfortunately, bullying is alive and well, and we need prevention activities like this if we're going to nip this in the bud and create a safe and healthy and supportive community for our kids. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. We may want to take an extra one for Paul Donnelly, who's not here. Thank you.
Any questions?
Do we have questions here for Bretta or Susan or Justin? Carol?
You probably can all answer this, but part of the bullying that seems to be going on these days, in addition to the normal face-to-face bullying, is the internet access and the bullying that's going on via Facebook or email or Twitter or whatever everybody's on these days. And how do you address that? Is that something you can address?
Well, I'll let Bretta speak to that as well. You're absolutely right, and that's what's exacerbated the problem of bullying, is the online nature of things. So when we were kids, and those of us that got bullied,
Right.
When we got home and we shut the door, we were in a safe place.
Right.
And that's not the way it is anymore. Kids
No.
walk around with devices and are getting bullied, and they can be, your child can be in their bedroom and you may think they're nice and safe in there, and they can be being bullied online.
Yeah, and I think Facebook gives a false sense of friendship, and there's too much meaning that is
Right.
attached to it by especially young people, but everyone, even older people, are feeling that way.
Yes.
How many friends do you have on Facebook and all this? And to be bullied in that way is like, I don't know how you even begin to address that.
And so sometimes the humiliation of that in an incident, when an incident occurs, it affects those people that were there. And that's embarrassing enough.
Yeah.
But when something happens online, it's there for a long time, and thousands of people
Right.
can see it. And so it is a huge issue, and that's why we need bullying prevention programs to educate kids about the impact when they do things like this, and how to protect themselves, and what to do when something like that happens and it's over the line. But let Bretta talk about how the district deals with it.
Okay, so we actually have, I don't even know how many faculty and staff, but probably 50, over 100 faculty and staff at this point. Would you say that we're pretty close to that now, that have been trained in the OVAS anti-bullying, the actual program. The training required us to hire someone that came from out of district, out of state, that came in and did the training. It was a 2-day training. It required teams to go back to their buildings and make action plans and then implement those action plans. They teach specific lessons in the context of the classroom on what do friendships mean, what does respect mean, what are the different levels of friendship. There's acquaintances, there's developing friendships, and then there's close friendships. Then it goes beyond that to a variety of other kinds of lessons that are specific to using technology safely and what that looks like. And then beyond that, further where we talk a little bit about what is teasing versus bullying. And then what do you do if you think you are being bullied? What does that look like? The training required us to engage in a lot of activities where we were role-playing, like what it would be like if we were in these situations and how we would handle them. And then beyond that, we have continuous consultation with the trainer that came in and did the training with our district. And also we have Susan as an incredible resource that's working with us. Susan also had a small team of folks at the Washington Coalition for Children that actually took the units from the curriculum and matched it with the Common Core and found literature that matched some of the curriculum that the classroom teachers were already using. So an enormous amount of resources and time has been put into this curriculum and the implementation of the curriculum, and it's alive and well. I don't see it going away. I don't see us not having something like this in our schools. I think it's something that should be embedded into the natural fabric of what we do every single day. I think sometimes we start initiatives and our feeling is that we've done it and now we're all done and we can put it away. I don't see this being something like that. I see this being long-term and it'll continue to grow. Did that answer your question? Okay.
Yeah.
Meg?
I'm looking at this, and some of the things are really surprising to me, honestly, especially being pushed, shoved, tripped, and spit on. That's really disturbing. I'm looking to see your research here is definitive of the middle school population. Do you continue to talk about bullying at all age levels, whether it be elementary and high school as well?
We started this endeavor 4 years ago, and each year we trained a couple of buildings in the district, and now we're almost to full capacity. We have 2 more buildings in the district to train, and then everyone will be utilizing this curriculum. The data that you are looking at, I believe, is from one of the first surveys that we ran at Curtis Corner.
No, this is SALT survey.
Oh, okay, that's this, right, so that's the InfoWorks survey. I apologize. So there's a couple of different pieces of data that we look at frequently. So it's, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Well, I was just, this is, a target of the middle school population, so I wondered if part of the curriculum or programming in talking about bullying started at the elementary school and carries all the way through to the high school, because I'm just looking at one segment.
Right, yes, it does. But we're not finished with all of our OVAS training yet. That's something that we're still working on.
Thank you.
And I can just speak to, it is something that the coalition is aware of. So Bretta mentioned how the district has been rolling out OVAS at the elementary and middle school level, and the district also has a plan and has done training at the high school level in restorative justice to address bullying at the high school level. The coalition recognizes the need, and the research supports starting at the preschool level. And so a group of early child care educators involved with the coalition put together a curriculum and did training with early care and education providers last school year with an initiative called Planting the Seeds of Kindness. And it involves using 9 storybooks with bullying prevention themes, and in the classroom once a month over the course of the school year, and that with companion parent pages that go home so that parents can reinforce the lesson that was taught that day in the classroom in the preschool. So you're absolutely right. We need to start early, and we need to address it at all age levels. These statistics are daunting. It is going to be a long-term effort. It's something that when I talk about it with volunteers and people in the community, I talk about it like the work trying to combat smoking 20 years ago. 20 years from now, hopefully we'll be in a totally different place, but it's going to be a lot of work changing hearts and minds. Bullying is a learned behavior, and so we have to unlearn that, and we have to begin teaching kids appropriate behavior.
Thank you. I'm glad that you mentioned planting the seeds of kindness for the preschool, the younger kids. I'm glad that you mentioned that. And did the Oveus program get started with some help from the South Kingstown Partnership for Prevention, seeding some of the money?
No, it did not. It
did not.
started with a grant that the coalition got.
Okay. And I know recently I was talking to Eileen Stone from the former director of South Kingstown Partnership for Prevention, and I know that they're working on some restorative practices. So is there a connection between Washington County Coalition and finding out what South Kingstown Partnership for Prevention is doing with this restorative piece?
Well, the partnership is a member of the coalition, and Eileen was always very involved, and Heidi, in getting up and running, has reached out to us, and we will be working more closely as time goes on. And Heidi wants to be involved in helping us with Chalk It Up, so that will be happening.
Good. Well, I think this is just a great endeavor, and it's definitely something that is needed in our community. And I hear that Oveus program, is absolutely fabulous. Has that been adopted into the health curriculum? Do you know, Bretta? Yeah.
I don't think so. I believe that in each of the respective buildings in the district, they teach it where they find it most fitting. So some of the buildings are teaching it during learning center. Some of them might be teaching it during, the end of the, it depends.
Right. All right. Other questions?
I just
Carol?
had one more. Where on Main Street? Is it the entire, like from Purple Cow all the way down to Paul Massey, or how far are you going with it?
I think as what we did in the past, last year was a little bit different. We tried using one of the town parking lots. We kind of found that people really liked being on the sidewalks, kind of being there with the people, with the merchants. But yeah, basically from the start of the one day soon, hopefully to be completed, Comfort Station on Main Street, right? The project that just keeps going. State project, right? Not a town project. Right? That something merchants have been looking for a long, long time. I'm just like going back. I'm thinking about how long ago that was. All the way. So we'll start right around there, and it'll work both sides of Main Street. And yeah, it'll go down all the way down to 401 Studio and down by Paul Massey. Yeah, everybody all along the way there's been very supportive. So we're all very excited to do it.
Great. And how many participants?
Oh,
did you have
and we're
last
doing
year?
part of, I'm sorry, also up on Robinson Street as well, over by South County Art Supply, and she has been a wonderful supporter as well. Right. She's been,
True.
and yeah.
Oh, how many participants did you get last year? Any idea?
55.
Oh,
Nice.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, and that was a mix of kids, adults, high schoolers, middle schoolers. It was great.
And they're told the art has to have the message about bullying attached to it, so it has to have.
Correct.
that meaning.
Yeah, and everything did. I mean, I mean, it was a very obvious, but I mean, it was everything from, I mean, there were messages of peace. I mean, to stop cyberbullying, to everything. It was very creative. Yeah, and maybe next year we'll bring some photos from this year's, and we'll show you that as well.
I see, I have the photos in front of me, and I
Oh,
think in
good.
front of Brickley's, it's bullying is not sweet, and there's a big ice cream
Is
cone.
that perfect? Is that great? So, and I mean, the great thing too is, I mean, when these kids are doing it, I mean, the kids are coming up with this stuff on their own. I mean, it's, no one's, prodding them to do certain messages. It's the kids think about it and they do it, and it's great. They know what's going on.
So do they have to sign up ahead of time? What is the process? Yeah.
Right, we will be setting up an Eventbrite as soon as we get approval here, an Eventbrite site for people to register, so we will know how many registrants we have, so we'll be ready for it. Participants, we've received grant funds to make it free for people to participate, and participants will receive a free T-shirt. We will be soliciting other donations from businesses as well. So last year, we were lucky to get free pizza and a drink from Pier Pizza and an ice cream cone from Brickley's. But depending on how many registrants we get, we will stage things accordingly. Justin alluded to the fact that last year, yes, we requested and used part of the back parking lot because we had been told we needed to worry about the safety of young kids. And what we found in running the event last year was that the kids didn't want to be back there. They wanted to be up there where all the action was, and no young kid came without parents. And there was really no issue about supervision. And it was fun for them to be drawing pictures right next to the teenagers. It just made it, and families did it together as well. So you had moms and dads who were artists who were drawing next to their kids. It was fun.
Great.
Okay, well, we are going to wish you the best of luck, and just a reminder, I'm going to state the date again, Saturday, October 18th, 11 to 2, and hopefully that 55 number will double this year. That'd be great. So at this point, if there's no further questions, how about a motion?
I move approval of new license A.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any comments from the public? Ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Second license is a resolution granting a miscellaneous permit to utilize the municipal parking lot in Peacedale to conduct a community bicycle event on Thursday, October 2nd, 2014, from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. to Welcome House of South County, 8 North Road, Peacedale, Rhode Island, subject to the execution of a hold harmless agreement indemnifying the town and issuance of a certificate of insurance naming the town as an additional insured for the event in the amount specified by the risk manager. Application by Kenneth Burke, Chairman, 28 South Glen Court, Wakefield, Rhode Island. And with him also is Dan Dunn. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the council. I just want to say I very much appreciate you taking this under consideration with not a lot of lead time. The staff for the town have been very accommodating to walk us through advisory opinions on how to go forward with this non-traditional request. Our request is simply to have access to the municipal parking lot in Peacedale on October 2nd. This has been a project that's been in the works for probably about 9 months or so. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island has a grant program they call the Blue Angel program. And on October 2nd, they're celebrating their 75th anniversary. They're dispatching volunteers from their corporate offices all throughout Rhode Island, and South Kingstown will have a busload of folks from Providence come down to do a day's worth of volunteerism. And what we've done is, at Welcome House, we worked together with Blue Cross to identify a day of community service where Dan Dunn, fundamentally Dan and myself, are recycling bikes that have been donated through Welcome House to kids in the area that need a bicycle, very simply put. And we needed an area where it was large enough to facilitate not only just gifting the bikes to the children, but also we've partnered with the South County YMCA to do bike safety training. And as we've started talking over the last month or two, we've ended up getting donations for helmets, for water bottles. So we wanted to have a nice community-based atmosphere to have these kids get the bicycles. It is on a Thursday. That's the date that Blue Cross had picked, so we didn't have much latitude in changing the date or the location. But we did feel that that parking lot and its proximity to Welcome House, our future community bike center, and the bike path just kind of made sense. So what we've done at the suggestion of the staff is we did talk to the community businesses that surround the parking lot. We do have their authorization. We didn't get the signatures from Johnny Cake and the Village Barber Shop, although we have talked to them. They were closed there today. We did get the certificate of insurance. But essentially, we are planning on setting up at about noontime. And we've had some discussions with the school department, and we have to wait until kids get out of school. So what we figure on what is going to happen is about 3:30, we'll have kids start cycling through the parking lot. We'll have stations set up for them to get their bicycle, to get a helmet, to get a water bottle, and then to go through some quick training on etiquette and bike safety. We would like to use the parking lot to facilitate this day of volunteerism. It'll actually have several other components that are focused at Welcome House, including the continuation of building up our community gardens and some installation of bike racks on our facility. But our specific request is for the parking lot.
Sounds like a great event. Dan, did you want to add anything? All of your hard work recycling the bikes and rebuilding?
Kenny and I have been busy recycling bikes now for about a month, although we've been collecting them for close to a year, and they're in a variety of sizes, mostly 26 and 24s, but we put the word out to get smaller bikes in for other children, and we're up to probably 50 bikes now, and we only need 35 for this day, but we're going to have a little extra just in case we need them. But we're looking forward to a nice time and a good turnout, and a good day for the kids in the community. This is being modeled after Recycle a Bike in Providence, which is a nonprofit that's very successful and is in bed with the Metcalf School up there in an education program. And at some point, we hope to evolve the building on Church Street to evolve into a community bike shop where there'll be classes in bike repair and safety, and bike parts will be available, if not for free, for very little money, just to keep bikes going. Biking's a great thing, it's a healthy thing, but there's an etiquette to the bike path that has to be educated with safety and letting people know you're coming up behind them and different issues that kids aren't aware of. And the safety thing with helmets and having your bike tuned properly is big, so I think we'll get that across that day. Yeah, so thank you.
This is great. And appreciate all of the meetings and the time that you've put in. My understanding is working with Healthy Places by Design and with the Y and, all of the work that you went into it. And while you have a captured audience, do you just want to do a quick little blurb about the Panda Plunge on September 27th?
Sure. Thank you. So you'll start seeing some flyers up and down Main Street and other parts of town throughout Narragansett. Welcome House is having a fundraiser on September 27th, Saturday, at the Narragansett Town Beach at their, I believe it's a South Beach Pavilion. And very simply put, it's a plunge into the ocean. It's happening at the end of September. The water's still going to be warm. We've got great feedback already. We just had a discussion with a teacher in North Kingstown. She's thinking about bringing up to 20 kids there. So I'm going to reach out to South Kingstown, Narragansett, and make sure that this challenge doesn't go unmet. We've reached out to the university. We're expecting some pretty big crowds. It is a very simple jump into the ocean in support of Welcome House and our programs. We'll have face painting there. 99.3 will have a DJ. They're actually going to broadcast live during the event. You will see panda sightings over the next several weeks. They may be about my height. Again, it's really just a good-natured way to make sure the community understands what Welcome House is all about, where we're at, and we invite people in for our services and just for opportunities to volunteer. And we appreciate your consideration for that fundraiser.
I was going to mention under comments from interested citizens, but I figured it'd be better coming from you. So it may be wise, too, maybe to have a panda be riding one of the bikes that day on.
You'll probably see a panda riding a bike this weekend, okay? Just for what it's worth. It'll be on Facebook,
Anyways,
I'm sure.
it's just another example of the great work that you do for this community. So we thank both of you. Any questions here at the Town Council? Carol?
Kenny, how are you reaching out to the kids who need the bikes? How are you making that connection?
It's a great question. So we're very cautious about that, to be honest with you. So we're using Welcome House as a drop-off point. So if anybody wants to donate a bicycle, drop it off at Welcome House, we'll take it, and we'll deal with it from there on. We've got a great partnership with the YMCA for the training for the children. They've got great staff there, athletic staff, they've got youth coordinators, so it's a great partnership. They've actually talked about this internally, and they've decided that they want to make this an ongoing program. So just by virtue of Dan and I talking about this program, it's already got legs, and it's a sustainable program, thankfully, through the YMCA. We did talk to the superintendent of schools, and there's a lot of requirements as far as protecting the confidentiality with children, so we're respectful for that. We've made them aware of the program, and if the schools or the parents know of kids that might need a bicycle, they can reach out to us. We're very comfortable letting the PTOs and the schools work that out as they feel comfortable doing so. We don't need to know personal names, no personal information. As Dan mentioned, we've got about 50 bikes collected right now, so we're going to be ready to have plenty of bicycles available. And if there's a greater need, our goal is actually to have an ongoing program jointly with the Y, where maybe twice a year we do this same type of program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions?
Just a thought, I know when my children were little, I used to volunteer, but a lot of the elementary schools have what's called Friday folders, where a lot of the information gets disseminated and gets brought home. Not everybody receives it all the time, or brings it out of their backpack, but in keeping with confidentiality, it might be a great way to get the message out in the elementary schools.
It's a great point, and the superintendent did offer that if we had any flyers or any information that she would facilitate speaking with her principal, so I think I'll
And how
follow
about
up
the
on that.
listserv? Maybe they could get it through that way,
Yeah, the superintendent mentioned that as well. So again, at this point, my contact will be through the superintendent, and she'll help facilitate any way she can. So
Good.
thank you very much.
Thank you. If there's no other questions, can we have a motion, please?
I move approval of new license B.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any comments from the public?
Can I just?
Carol?
Oh, I just had one more question that I forgot to ask. That day for the businesses in Peacedale, where will people park?
So we're going to be parking off-site. We're going to have parking at the Welcome House. We've got to help organize, well, first of all the Blue Cross volunteers come in a bus, so there's no parking for them. But I've committed to working with the YMCA and the folks from Blue Cross to actually map out the adjacent parking. We might be back, and again, I'd work through the town if they have suggestions as to where spillover parking might occur. But
I know Thursdays is a big day at Amici Salon. We want to make sure she keeps getting her clients in there.
Right. I could certainly, work through staff to come back with a more detailed plan of supplemental parking.
Yeah.
It's our intention to try to have as many people walk to the event. Actually, we're really focusing on Peacedale, but it's open to the entire town.
Sure.
Because they'll be leaving with a bicycle.
But I think Dan was going to just say
I
something.
just wanted to add that Don Packer bought Ronnie's garage space lot, and he's turned that into municipal parking for all the businesses in Peacedale. And it's really filled. There may be 5 or 6 cars in there on any given day, but that day, we would perhaps direct people in a nice way to perhaps park there. And it's adjacent to Amici's Salon
Right.
there, so.
And,
And,
all of them, the
The community
barbershop
should know
and
that
the,
that parking is available, 'cause
sweet
it's a great
cakes.
resource.
right. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion and a second?
Yes, we do.
All right, we're ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 400, and we wish you the best of luck. It's a great event for the kids. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is communications. We have a communication dated August 26, 2014, from Terry K. Longworth, Executive Director of A Place to Go, requesting a letter of support for their application in partnership with Children's Friend and Service for an early Head Start collaboration grant is received, placed on file, and the Town Council further directs. Welcome, Terry Longworth.
Thank you. I'm a
If you
little
could
short.
just
Maybe
tell us a little bit about the grant and
Absolutely.
the good things that it will bring into the town?
First, I'd like to share the mission of A Place to Grow. A Place to Grow is an educational childcare facility on High Street. We serve infants ages 6 weeks up to 5 years of age. Our mission is to provide excellent, loving, nurturing, safe educational care for young children and their families. This partnership with Children's Friend is actually statewide. There are other Head Start programs, private child care centers, and family home care centers that were chosen. A Place to Grow was chosen based on our commitment to our quality improvement initiatives. Just this past summer, we were one of the few centers around the state that applied for and received a full $30,000 quality improvement grant from the Center for Early Learning Professionals, and that was through the Race to the Top funds in Rhode Island. So through our quality initiatives, we are in a very good place, on track to be able to meet the early Head Start performance standards. If you're not familiar with Head Start, our early Head Start provides services to children and their families who are living in poverty. In this community, there is no current early Head Start services to children and families, so this is not competing with any other agency that already exists. There is a Head Start grant in the town. It's for partial day services without transportation. And so one of the things that I first noticed when I came to A Place to Grow was that we serve about 30% low-income families, and that's from both South Kingstown and Narragansett. And unfortunately, we just don't have the resources to be able to provide those wraparound services that they would get from the early Head Start collaboration. The additional services would be health services, which would include dental, mental health, social services for families, providing caseworkers that would be able to connect families with resources in the community should they need it, in addition to the educational setting that we already provide. So we have initially committed to 7 slots across 3 classrooms in the center, and that can go up and down as needed for enrollment. And those would be infants and toddlers, so children ages 6 weeks up to 36 months. So I am here tonight to ask for, although the grant has already been submitted, the application was submitted on August 20th, we did receive quite a bit of support from other agencies in the town, South Kingstown Police Station, in addition to law firms and some private agencies in town, as well as pediatricians, have also already signed and offered their support in this collaboration. So I'm here to ask for your support as well. And it would be not only provide wonderful services to the children, it would allow for training opportunities and professional development for our staff. It would provide resources for us to request additional materials for the classroom if we need it. And it would be able to, help us really serve those in need that are in our community. One thing I did forget to mention, we do have a formal memorandum of understanding with also South Kingstown School Department for the SKIP program, that's the South Kingstown Inclusionary Preschool, and also with Narragansett School Department.
It makes sense because the families that will benefit from this when they enter our school departments will be that further ahead. Early intervention is absolutely key, and Head Start is just a great way to do that. So
Absolutely.
kudos to you for, seeking this grant. And I believe it is David Caprio who is in charge of this grant at the state.
He is the executive director of Children's Friend and Service, and they are going in as the grantee, and we would be considered a partner. So we would be monitored by a team made up of professionals around the state that I would actually be on the monitoring team myself for other centers. So we would partner with them, and we would get, what we would receive at the center are either the services and or the funds to provide those wraparound services directly at the center. And it just makes sense because these are the people that the children see every day. They come into us sometimes at 6:45 in the morning and leave at 6 p.m. at night. So.
And is there a time frame to find out, whether you have received the grant or not?
We believe it will be March of 2015, and then we have 18 months to roll out and meet all of the standards. So if some of our staff are not currently meeting, Head Start standards go above and beyond Rhode Island DCYF licensing regulations for childcare, which were just revised this past November, and everyone has to be 100% compliant with them this November. I'm proud to say A Place to Grow has been 100% compliant for the last month and a half. So we are in a good place moving forward. But if some of our staff do need some more formalized training, we'll be able to do that within the 18 months. We'll also be applying to be part of the federal child care and adult food care program, so that we can receive, we provide the meals throughout the day at the center without any cost to the parents, no matter what socioeconomic background they're from. So that would also help us to supplement these children.
That's great. Do we have questions for Terry here at the table?
Yeah.
Carol?
Terry, so you're looking for a letter of support from the council?
Correct.
For your application as a partner with the Children Friendly Services?
Correct.
Okay. Great.
Any other questions?
No? Well, I will make a motion that we ask Dale to send a letter from the town council in support of A Place to Grow as a partner with the Children Friendly Services in their application for an early Head Start collaboration grant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, ready to vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 400. And we wish you the best of luck to receive this grant so that some of the families can be helped out here to enhance the quality of life and education for children. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Terry, if there's any wording that you think we should add into the letter that would assist you.
I believe I submitted
We have
a
a
sample
sample.
letter.
Right. It was in the August 28th packet, I believe. So,
If you need another, I can send it. That's
Whatever you need.
okay, great. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is a communication dated August 25th from Robert Clendenin, tendering his resignation from the planning board effective immediately, is received, placed on file, and the town council further directs. And this is such a loss for our town. But,
Yeah, it is. He spent 14 years on the planning board, and he's done a great job, and I would move that we send a great letter of thank you to him and all the years of service that he gave to the town.
Jim?
I might add to that, the Silver Lake Cottage, which he and his wife Susie ran for a number of years, probably one of the most successful, most wonderful places in demand for events, educational events, party events, and we were sorry to lose that. And hopefully a new owner of their home, their property is for sale now, hopefully a new owner can maybe bring that back to that wonderful, if you will, bed and breakfast as well as entertainment venue again. So many thanks to Bob and Susie for all the time they've given this community.
Kudos. All right, can we have a motion, please?
I think I made a motion. You want me to do it again?
Do we need a second?
So second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ready to vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries, and we wish Bob the best of luck, all the happiness. Communication C is a communication dated September 2nd, 2014, from Larry Fish, Chairman, Economic Development Committee, requesting that a joint work session be scheduled with the Town Council and EDC to discuss issues of mutual economic concern, is received, placed on file, and the Town Council further directs.
We discussed this at the work session, and I believe we were going to look for a date in November for a meeting with the Economic Development Commission. There's a lot of issues on the agenda, and I think we wanted to see the survey that they were proposing prior to the meeting. So,
Yeah, I have to agree. We decided, when we talked about it, we haven't had a chance to look at the survey. The other thing is, by virtue of the fact that 2 people are not going to be on the council, the nature of the council is also going to change as of November. So it wouldn't be very prudent to have 2 meetings, one prior to the election and one after the election. So we think it's something better serviced later on, after the election.
I think we're all in agreement with that. If we can, if they can schedule something subsequent to the new town council, that was what we discussed in the work session. I think we're all in agreement with that. Please. Thank you.
so do we need a vote? I mean,
I would make a
a
motion.
motion to send a letter to the Economic Development Committee to, that the council will meet with them sometime after the first week, or what is it, the first week in November? Okay. So we should just continue this until the new council is sworn in? Would that be the best bet?
The new council would be the one that would have to determine whether they were available for that date, so
All right.
it may be best to have the new council, once they're seated, we'll provide them with a list of various organizations that they would normally meet with. EDC would be one of them.
Okay. So why don't we do that? We'll kick this over till the new council's sworn in, and at that point, we can set a date and time to meet with them. That's the motion.
Okay.
Second?
Second.
Well, second.
We have
that,
motion
too.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 400. And we have comments from interested citizens. Mine was to tell you about the Panda Plunge and the bicycles, so I have nothing. Does anybody here at the table have anything? Any dates coming up?
The Elks.
Oh, actually, you know what? I have one. I have one that is unintended consequences. It is sponsored by the Narragansett Prevention for Partnership for Prevention and the South Kingstown Partnership for Prevention, and it is a special guest panelist, Kevin Sabet. It's S-A-B-E-T. He's a PhD. He has over 18 years of experience working on drug policy. And Dr. Sabet is the director of Drug Policy Institute at the University of Florida and an assistant professor at the College of Medicine, Department of Psychiatry. And this is going to be in reference to legalization of marijuana. So there's going to be a panelist discussion. And the date is Monday, October 20th, 6:30 at Amalfi's in Narragansett. And again, it is legalization of marijuana. So if anybody's interested.
And there is there's a rendezvous with the Rat Pack to benefit Domestic Violence Resource Center of South County. That's Friday, October 3rd at 6:30 to 10:30 at the Preserve at Boulder Hills in Wyoming, Rhode Island. So that's a local organization that does a lot for the community.
And I think that we all got an invitation to the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns annual dinner. That date is September 25th. I'm going to send mine that I will not be able to attend. So maybe if we can let Steve know, or we send in our own RSVPs, September 25th. Anything else before I open it to the microphone?
The Elks Family Day?
You want to mention that?
I don't know the date off the top of my head because I didn't bring it in, but September, it might be the 25th as well. I know it's towards the end of the month. But the money will be benefiting South Kingstown Elks and scholarships for children that live in our community. The cost of the tickets is $15 for adults. Children under 12, they will be free. There is a band. There's hamburgers, hot dogs, striped bass, chowder, clam cakes, a lot of activities for the children. So it's a good support to our community and also to a support to the Elks.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to open up the microphone for any comments from interested citizens. Please come forward if you'd like to make a comment, a question. Seeing none, I'm going to move on to the town manager's report.
Oh, I just want to say one
Carol,
thing.
please do.
I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow is primary day. It's get out to vote. The polls are open from 7 in the morning till 8 at night. There's elections going on statewide.
Thank you. Steve?
Just a couple of comments. I've provided the council with two information items relative to the proposed recreation center. That information was provided in the August 21st and August 28th packets. I think as the council is aware, the committee that was appointed by the Recreation Commission to work with the architect that the council had selected back in June have been meeting each and every week. They're at a position where they will have a formal presentation ready for the council and the Recreation Commission toward the latter part of this month. So what we will be doing is trying to get a date when all parties are going to be available. Hopefully it'll be before October 1st. We're looking at this point tentative dates, maybe Monday or Tuesday of the last week in September. I think it's the 29th and 30th. Or we may be looking at Tuesday, the 23rd. So once we get that, I will get that information out. It'll be a formal presentation. It'll be here at the council chambers. It will be televised so that we can then have a video that will be available for public review, both on the town's website and also through the state interconnect with Cox and Verizon. So we will continue to put that information out. Persons with questions relative to the project certainly can contact the Recreation Director's Office or the Director of Athletics at the school department. I think both of the documents provide some specific detail. We're updating what cost estimates are based on what the Planning Committee sees as specific needs within the facility. So people need to keep abreast of that, and hopefully we'll have some definitive numbers and show panels for what the facility would look like for that meeting in the latter part of this month. Other than that, I have no other items to comment on this evening.
Any questions for Steve? Seeing none, Town Solicitor report. Thank you, Steve. Any questions for Mike? Seeing none, brings us to appointments. We have a few.
We have two reappointments to the Conservation Commission. Lorraine Jobert and Mary Talbot Rabuano wish to be reappointed. Their terms expired September 2014. They'd be appointed for 3 years. That would take them to September 2017. So I make the motion that we reappoint the two of them.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda is new business B. This is a resolution authorizing an award of contract to Parkson Corporation, 2727 Northwest 62nd Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for ultrafine aeration panel membranes and double-sided tape in an amount not to exceed $46,000, including freight, and is further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated August 12, 2014, and entitled Parkson Aeration Panel Replacement Membranes. Steve.
As usual, the Utilities Department is being thrifty. The cost of replacing these units is about $2,550 apiece, and we've got 80 of them that need to be replaced. They can repair those units for about $520. The item that's before you tonight is a proprietary purchase for the different units that are necessary, those 80 membranes. We're looking at about a $46,000 cost. It'll service about 50% of the membrane units that are in place at the facility at this time. We'll continue to do improvements on those other units in the second unit once this work is completed. So I'd ask the council to approve as presented in John's memo of August 12th.
Could we have a motion, please?
I move approval of new business item B.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And new business item C is a resolution authorizing an award of bid to Coastal International Trucks Limited Liability Corporation, 17 O'Keefe Lane, Warwick, Rhode Island, for a 2015 International TerraStar dump truck with Swenson sander and a Fisher plow in an amount not to exceed $84,918, including trade-in, and as further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated August 15th and entitled Bid Recommendation 19,500 GVW dump truck with snowplow.
The sole bidder on this was Coastal International Trucks. We have purchased a good deal of equipment from them in the past. The price came in approximately $11,000 below what we had forecast the price in the capital improvement program. I'd recommend the council award as presented.
Steve, why didn't, you sent out 12 different notices to respond to the bid. Why didn't anybody else bid?
I'm not sure why. It may well be that the number of vehicles that these other companies had at the time for a 2015 vehicle weren't available for bidding. Normally, we see probably 3 to 4 bids. I think also that I believe this vehicle, was this going with a stainless steel body? Was this going stainless steel body? I'm not sure why we wouldn't have seen the bids, but the price is a reasonable price in relation to what we had anticipated.
I think I can maybe shed a little light. It's just like the automobile industry. I mean, there used to be, I don't know, 8 Ford dealers in the state. Now there's 2. So I think we're seeing that industry-wide. And these are, you know, larger than normal trucks, so that it's a very select number of dealers that can offer this type of vehicle.
Okay.
Thank you, John. Do we have a motion, please?
I move approval of new business item C.
Second?
Motion is second. Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 400. At this time, we are going to talk about a closed executive session. This is a closed executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5A2 to discuss matters pertaining to litigation, reason the Rhode Island Retirement Security Act of 2011. And could we have a roll call vote, please, Dale? Aye.
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 Aye.